process all the living and non-living things occurring naturally that encircles the interaction of all living species, climate, weather and natural resources that affect human survival and economic activity. Unfortunately, in this century, the scientists are increasingly concerned about the potential long-term effects of human-made destructions that can act interactively and have adverse effects upon planets, its natural environment, and humans' existence. Due to the pressures of overconsumption, population growth, and technology, the environment is being degraded, sometimes permanently. So why is environmental responsibility important and who is responsible to protect our environment? Wait, I'll tell you. A warm good morning to one and all, honorable judges, respected teachers and all my dear friends. Today I'm standing before you to speak a few words on the topic, how can we be environmentally responsible? Have you ever thought why it's important to become environmentally friendly? You can't just point towards one business or practice and blame them for all of our environmental woes. Everything fits together like a puzzle. We cannot continue to use and abuse our world without any regard to its sustainability. There is an urgent need to take environmental responsibility very seriously within every type of business and sustain our environment for future generations. It is critical to protect the environment so as to reduce the destruction of ecosystems caused by a myriad of anthropogenic activities. Air and water pollution, global warming, smoke, acid rain, deforestation, wildfires are just few of the environmental issues that we are facing right now. The first step is to begin to understand the basics of what each part of life can do to become more environment friendly. The next step is to start to learn to make different choices on a personal level that help in changing your awareness and consumption of resources. The changes are surprisingly easy to make. There are more ways than you can imagine to begin to practice conservation. Step 1. Switch to renewables. Changing your energy supplies to one that is 100% renewable is a great eco-friendly tip for any home. Step 2. Recycle everything. You can recycle almost everything from batteries to papers to cars. Before you throw it away, take a minute to find out if you could recycle it instead. Step 3. Try to cut out plastic. Plastic seems to have found its way into every single aspect of our lives. However, giving it up is not as difficult as you might think. Bring a canvas bag with you when you go for shopping. Step 4. Compost. If you have leftover food, compost it rather than putting it in the bin. Not only it will help to create a natural fertilizer but also reduce the amount of waste going to landfills. Step 5. Don't waste foods. The huge waste of foods adds to the amount of carbon dioxide being created in landfills. Step 6. Invest in eco-friendly technology. Make sure that the technology you have got is as energy efficient as possible. Step 7. Use eco-friendly cleaning products. A lot of cleaning products have a lot of harmful chemicals in them that are not environmentally friendly to create or dispose of. In fact, repeated exposure to these cleaning products can affect your health as well as the environment. Green cleaning products use more natural and organic methods of cleaning which are far less harmful. We should also make a commitment to number 1. Respect the environment, making use of natural resources and taking steps to prevent pollution from the different processes involved in our industrial operations. Second one, promote the sustainable use of raw materials and natural resources. Third one, introduce guidelines for continuous improvement in the environmental performance. Fourth one, to cooperate with environmental protection authorities and agencies. And last one, implement and maintain due diligence system to prevent the purchase and sale of illegally harvested wood and timber products. Since 1970, the Environmental Protection Agency has been working to protect the nation's natural resources. So we do not work alone. Also, the agency has partnership with state and local governments, other federal agencies, environmental groups, businesses and industries, and growing legions of concerned citizens. Our scripture is filled with verses that remind us that God not only created the earth but also calls on us to protect it. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." Colossians chapter 1 verse 16 says, "For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth. All things were created through him and for him." And in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 says, "Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping things that creeps on the earth." The weather, plants and animals are all part of the environment that God created on the earth. Our role within nature should be one of subsistence rather than commercialization. As everything is related to everything, we have no right to infringe on any other livelihood of any other species. So we must change how we influence the land. The more we all do our part, the faster we will create an entire ecology of living. Thank you.
A warm good morning to all. Respected principal, headmaster, teachers, judges and all my dear friends. Today I am going to give a speech on the topic, how can we be environmentally responsible? Our environment is where we live. There must be harmony between the environment and the living beings. The natural environment around us, in which we sleep, breathe, do work, is a need of all living beings in this planet. We all are dependent on this environment for food, water, shelter, oxygen, etc. Human society has played a vital role in degrading this environment. It has impacted all the life forms on Earth. Some of the prevalent environmental problems include global warming, pollution, melting of polar ice, ozone depletion, loss of biodiversity, etc. It is our responsibility to protect the Earth. The good or bad environment depends upon our activities. The harsh weather patterns are a proof that our environment needs more saving than ever. The occurrences of natural calamities are increasing day by day, which is proving to be more harmful than ever. Further, the melting of glaciers is another alarming point as to why we need to save our environment. In addition to that, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing. If we do not take immediate action, we have to face grave consequences at the hands of nature. It is rather important to note that by saving our environment, we will be saving mankind. It is mankind that is at risk. We have to do this for our survival. The earth has survived for billions of years and it will continue to do so. So we must start now. Now, let us see what are the different ways by which we can be environmentally responsible. One must begin with the proper handling of waste materials. To do so, we must begin with proper disposal of waste and recycling of waste materials. Avoid the use of coal and switch to reusable sources of power like hydro or solar power. This way, we can adopt a healthy and a greener lifestyle. On a bigger level, cities must be planned according to the availability of water resources. This helps in the conservation of water. Avoid using hot water and make do with cold water when possible. Further, farmers must use organic fertilizers in place of pesticides. Air pollution must be reduced at all costs. Do not take your personal cars and bikes if possible. Try carpooling or taking public transport for the same. Habituate ourselves to use public transport and bicycles for short distances. Do not waste electricity so as to prevent global warming. Switch off fans and lights when they are not in use. Unplug all electrical appliances as well. Then we can use fluorescent bulbs in place of normal bulbs. We may find these bulbs expensive, but trust me, they really help in bringing down our electricity bills and emit 70% less heat as compared to normal bulbs. We should not use plastic bags and we must switch to greener alternatives. For instance, we can use reusable bags and containers. Do not dump the garbage anywhere. Dispose the waste in proper dustbins. Do not litter the road and avoid your loved ones from doing so. Encourage others to, at our family and at our workplace, to adopt these measures and help save the environment from the impending doom. We have to do this for our survival. Turn off the tap immediately after use. Most importantly, we can grow more and more trees in our living surrounding as well as where we find an empty piece of land. Plants, as we all know, absorb carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis and releases oxygen into the atmosphere. The estimation says that a single tree can soak up to 1 ton of carbon dioxide till the time it lives. No issues. If we do not have enough space, we can keep keep small tubs of plants in our balcony, doorways or windows. The rate of deforestation and the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere happening is very disruptive. Trees, as we all know, enhances the air quality. So, we must encourage the planting of more trees. Moreover, it is equally important to discourage deforestation. Every year, we are losing our forests, which carry the potential to make the air cleaner. It must begin with us and our children. Teach them from a very young age to be responsible for the environment and work to save it for a better and greener future. Let me conclude my points. I would like to request you all to do your bit and monitor the activities you perform and educate others to safeguard their actions and help save the environment. The focus should entirely shift on renewable and reusable sources of power. We can grow more trees and create all possible ways to dispose of waste. This way, we can help save the environment. Thank you.